I feel the spirit moving in me. I feel the spirit moving in me.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Hello, is this Rabbi Schwartz?
Yes, it is.
This is the Internal Revenue Service. We hope you can help us.
Yeah, I'll try.
Do you know Herman Cohen?
Why, yes, I do.
Is this man a member of your congregation?
Yes, he is.
Did he donate $10,000?
He will.
Well, Herman Cohen had never heard of the four agreements, and he was trying to circumvent the IRS by saying one thing and doing another, which is not really in alignment with the four agreements now, is it? You know, the Toltec beliefs are a rich tapestry of spiritual philosophies and wisdom from ancient Mexico. And they serve as a foundational bedrock of the five agreements. And you've probably heard of the four agreements, but Don Miguel Ruiz actually wrote a book with the fifth agreement, and so we're going to do a series on all five of them. And these agreements, these beliefs, emphasize personal freedom, personal awareness and consciousness, and they really breathe into the depth of our spiritual nature. And they are, if we apply them, a pathway to spiritual change. Now, that Toltec philosophy is a reflection, or teaches a reflection of our inner beliefs and our inner agreements. And our hope is, in exploring this 5-week series, is that we will all look at the agreements that we've made with ourselves, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, to determine, where are we in our life? Are we being impeccable with our word? And that's what we're talking about today. The first agreement, which is to be impeccable with our word. This agreement is more than just a call to be honest. It's an invitation to align our words, our thinking, with our deepest understanding of who we are and our own integrity and our truth. We all know that our words, your words, have the power to create your reality. And they can either tear it down or they can build it up. And so we get to choose, by using this agreement consciously, whether we create a world of love and peace and joy, or do we create a world and a life of anger and disagreement. So we're going to look at today being impeccable with our words. Charles Fillmore said, words are also seeds. When dropped into the invisible spiritual substance, they grow and bring forth their kind. So he's saying the things that we think, say, and really that we do are the seeds that we implant into the fertile ground that is our life. Being impeccable with our word is like yielding a magic wand. With just the flick of your linguistic wrist, you can cast spells that either nurture the soul or can cast storms in the hearts of yourself and others. Imagine that your words are seeds, and that you can grow a lush forest with your words. Or you can create a forest of thorny bushes of hurt and misunderstanding. To be impeccable with your word is to choose the seeds that you plant into the fertile ground of your life. So, words can create or they can destroy. Which will you choose? Consider a moment the stories that you tell yourself, the stories and the narratives that we tell ourselves. You know, the inner dialogue that we have is the root, the seed of how we show up in the world. How we talk about ourselves, how we are with ourselves is how we project ourselves into the world. You've heard the saying, as within, so without. So if we want to have a positive impact on the world and really live from that place of being positive and loving, then we really have to look at how are we feeling about ourselves? How do you speak to yourself when you're alone with yourself? Right? Are you critical? Are you loving? Are you angry? Are you anxious? Are you peaceful? Are you joyful? Because that same attitude that you feel and express within is what we show to the world. So what does it mean to be impeccable with your word? I believe it means that to speak with integrity, to say what you mean, and to avoid criticism, self-criticism and gossip, and speak to truth and love. That's it. Pretty simple, right? That's all it takes. So today we're going to look at, okay, well, how can we do that? What are some practical things that we can, tools that we can use so that we are being impeccable with our word all of the time? You know, there's a great model of that, I believe, and a beacon of peace and nonviolence is Gandhi, right? Through his words, he planted landscapes of his life and into the consciousness of countless others with stories of compassion, with stories of truth, and stories of love. He was a beacon of peace. And he said, "My life is my message." Wow. Imagine that your life is your message, because it is, whether you are aware of it or not. Your, your life is your message, right? So is it the message that you want to bring into the world? And that's really what we're looking at today. Is the message that I bring to the world what I sincerely, in my heart, in all of my integrity, want to deliver, want people to see? And is this the world that I want to create? Gandhi's words were not mere utterances, but they were echoes of his inner convictions. When he spoke of peace, he was peace. When he talked about change, he was change. He embodied that change. His commitment was to be impeccable with his word. And as such, he galvanized a nation towards independence, not through force, but through the powerful resonance of nonviolence. His life demonstrated how aligning one's words and actions can indeed move mountains of change and to impact the course of history. Gandhi exemplified the truth that our words are reflections of our inner selves. When spoken with integrity and love, they have the power to inspire change. And you have that power. We all have that power to inspire change in the world. What an amazing thing. What an amazing opportunity that we have. And I think even just to be aware that we have that kind of power, right? And that we yield it wherever we are. I know that Gandhi's teachings and others are deeply rooted in the consciousness of humankind. And when we act from that place, we activate that energy, because what the Toltecs talked about and these principles are all about is energy. They believe that God was energy. Think about that. How powerful that is. Can you think of a better explanation of what God is than energy? And it's the energy that we get to embrace and hold on to and bring into our lives and empower ourselves, empower the people that we're with to be modulators or controllers or part of that energy source. Because our words shape the world. You know, the world is bustling with all kinds of energy and all kinds of activity, and there's a lot of negative thinking out there, and there's a lot of positive thinking out there. And we get to be emissaries of this light, of this energy, of this truth to make a positive impact on the world. Imagine, if you will, that a mirror is in front of you that reflects to you both your physical self and your emotional self. And the essence of your inner dialogue is reflected back to you all the time. And it is, you know. Right? And if we were to, it'd be interesting to look at this mirror and see, what does it reflect to you? Right? Is it a mirror of peace and joy and love? And are you out there planting seeds? Or are you seeing chaos? Are you seeing confusion? Are you seeing doubt? Are you seeing lack? You know, we have a lot of negative thoughts that go through our head. I've had some, still have some. But, you know, you ever say to yourself these words, and imagine how these words would be reflected on this mirror of you. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I don't deserve happiness. I don't deserve to be happy. I always mess things up. I'll never change. I could never get any better. Or I wish I had done better. You know, and these aren't bad, right? You know, some people are going, oh, no, I don't want to hear that. Well, you need to hear that, because you need to stop those thoughts when they happen. You know, we're not just talking about malpractice. New thought malpractice is sweeping stuff under the rug, right? We have to acknowledge that we sometimes have these thoughts, because awareness is the first step in transformation, right? If we're sweeping everything under the rug, there's no change possible, right? Because, oh, I don't want to look at that, you know, and new thought for the longest time was seen as a Pollyanna sort of way of not looking at what is in the mirror, right? And it's time to realize, if this stuff is in the mirror, then we need to do something about it, right? We need to change our consciousness. And we don't change our consciousness through denial. We change our consciousness through the awareness of what is happening, and to sort of pull up our spiritual bootstraps, right? And decide that I'm going to do something about it. You know, because the truth of it is, everything we do affects somebody else. Everything we say affects somebody else. Imagine what it would be like, and you can do this, if through your attitude, through your love, you were able to change somebody's day, right? Just one person, right? What if somebody is going through a crisis, right? And you show up and you give them a compliment, or you tell them how wonderful they are, how amazing they are, or how smart they are. You know, we get to change the world by how we show up and how we talk to that world, how we talk to each other. You know, some people, you ever notice, can be really sarcastic, right? I can be pretty sarcastic, but I hope I do it in love. I know I've had things come out of my mouth that I kind of went, what the heck was that? Where did that come from, right? So what we're talking about is like even being aware of that and saying, you know, was that the most loving thing that I said? Right? Because sarcasm can hurt, right? The things that we say have the ability to influence other people, right? Not only can we influence ourselves, but we influence other people. I think even often just our thoughts, right? If we're talking, somebody's talking to us and we're thinking, oh, this is a bunch of baloney, you know, or we are impacting the world with our thoughts. I love what the Buddha said. He said, whatever words we utter should be chosen with care, for people will hear them and be influenced by them for good or ill. You know, I believe spiritually that we are all one. We're all part of the same essence. We're all part of the same energy. We're all part of the same spirit. And we control the direction that this love is moving in through our thoughts and our words. And I think it's important for us to be impeccable with who we are, remembering that we're part of this large spirit that wants to express as us. So I like this woman. This could be us, breathing seeds into the world, breathing these seeds that plant love in other people's consciousness, because we get to do that. We have the power to implant seeds in the earth, in the hearts and minds of men and women, and of course in ourselves based on what we say. So what if our thoughts are unlike the ones I mentioned a moment ago, like this: I am capable and strong. I can handle this challenge. I deserve happiness and love. I have unique talents and abilities that contribute to the world. I choose to focus my attention on my success and not my failures, right? I had somebody say something to me this week that kind of shocked me. It seemed to me that person was trying to get me to focus on my failures. And I thought, wow, you know, is that what we want to do? Right? And so the idea is the reason I mention is just to be aware, right? That sometimes we say things for God knows why, and God probably doesn't know why, because God isn't a why or a what, but is a win, always a win. So, you know, just be aware of what we're doing. You know, be aware of acknowledging somebody for what they have and encouraging them for what they do. I think sometimes our ego likes to minimize other people and sometimes grabs these crazy thoughts from somewhere and says them because we think it's lifting us up. And it feels like it for a second, but only for a second. So choose what you focus on. Choose what you say. I choose to focus on my successes, not my failures. right? Because that's going to enliven me. That's going to embrace my truth and be what I want to carry into the world. I am worthy of being successful. Say that with me. I am worthy of being successful. I am worthy of being successful. You are worthy of being successful. You are successful. No matter where you are successful, right? And those are the kind of messages that we can teach by example to encourage people to be all that they can be. And the last one is, I am proud to be who I am becoming, right? Recognizing that I get to be different in every moment, but my desire is to be continuously get better. And I am proud to be who I am becoming. So the idea is for us to be mindful gardeners of our words, to nurture our landscapes and our relationships with affirmations, and to water and fertilize our soil, and to fertilize it with love and joy and peace and wisdom and truth, so that we can create a world where every word that is spoken is a step towards healing. Imagine. Every word that you speak has the possibility to create healing. How does that feel? Right? How does that feel? Just to be aware you have that power. Wow, isn't that beautiful? And what I think is so amazing is to know that we have the choice, right? And if we don't get it right, we can do it again and change what we say. So how can we do all this? What are some practical steps? Well, I've got 5 of them. I'm calling them 5 practices for impeccable speech. And this goes along with the affirmative statements that I mentioned earlier. Affirmations are incredibly important for building consciousness, which is what we're all about, right? So the first one is to pause before you speak. Damn, I hate that one, don't you? Because don't you just like that? Wow, somebody says something, kaboom! Alice to the moon, right? Right? Oh, I want to get that person back for what they said. But instead to take a breath and realize don't have to react. You know, someone said that 2 seconds between being triggered and responding is where truth lies, where spirit lies, where we have the choice on how we respond. You know, we can't control what people say and do around us, but we can certainly control how we react to it, can't we? So before you respond, take a breath. It doesn't even have to be in a confrontational atmosphere. It could just be, oh, what is my truth about that? Oh, what can I say? What can I say that's going to be loving and in integrity? And the second thing we can do is to mindfully listen. Who wants to do that, right? Well, to mindfully listen, or to be impeccable with your words, first of all, we have to impeccably listen, right? And that means to really listen to what the person is saying, to really listen to what's going on. To be an impeccable listener means to listen intently to what others are saying, and so we can understand exactly what it is that they're saying. And this greatly reduces the possibility for misunderstandings. And the idea is to listen listen with the intent to understand rather than with the intent to reply. All right? You see the difference? So just really, because so often we worry about what we're going to say, right? So much that we're not even listening to what's being said. And the craziness is that if we really listened to what was being said, we wouldn't have to worry about what to say, right? Because we're going to know what to say. But so often, I know I do it myself. I rush into, I have to think about what I'm going to say, so I'm prepared to say it, right? And in the meantime, I'm missing whatever the person is saying. So just really be impeccable with what you hear. And then your response will be perfect because you heard what was being said. And the third one is to speak with integrity. To make a commitment to yourself not to gossip, right? Or talk about people when they're not there. That's hard to do, isn't it? Because isn't it juicy to talk about people when they're not there, right? It like feeds some part of our ego to do that, right? And it feels like, wow, I got the power. I can talk about somebody behind their back. I'm better than they are, or I'm in judgment of them, and whoo, that feels great. But when we do that, we're not speaking with integrity, right? So just when that happens, when you get that inclination to talk about somebody, just say, stop. I'm not going to do it. I don't need to do it. When we speak with integrity, it builds trust. Because, the funny thing about this one is, anytime you talk with you have a friend and you're saying, yeah, that guy, Adam, oh, he's not here. Oh, it's perfect. Don't tell him when he comes back that we talked about him, right? All right, so we're talking about Adam, and we're going through all this stuff about Adam, wherever Adam is, and we're having all kinds of fun with it. But what the message is that you're learning is that I talk behind people's backs, right? So the next time you're in the bathroom, we're going to be talking about you, right? So I think that's where the integrity comes in, right? It's about do it all the time, be consistent, and you remember that speaking in integrity is about speaking with compassion, right? To speak with compassion always, to sort of have your heart open and be able to come from that heart place. All right, and the fourth thing that we can do, I can't wait for Adam to come back, is use words that uplift, encourage, and express love. Wow. Why would we do anything else, right? But we do. So this is really just a reminder to use words that uplift, encourage, and express love. And to make it a conscious choice to do that all the time. Right? You ever wonder what you should say in a situation? Maybe. Well, what if you said, okay, well, I don't know what to say, so I'm gonna say something uplifting and something encouraging and something that expresses love. And make that, sort of your agenda in everything you do to check in and say, right now, in this conversation, am I speaking words that are uplifting? Am I speaking words that are encouraging? Am I speaking words that express love? Can you see how this will impact your world? Yeah? Pretty hard not to love somebody who is loving, right? And don't we all want to be loved? So when we show up in that place, we're sending a message and we're saying, wow, I'm so much in love that I love you. I love everyone. I love being here. I love this, all that we're doing. I love that I get to show up in my life and be present, express love, encourage others. And the last thing is to apologize and amend when necessary. You know, despite our best efforts, there may be times when we fall short of being impeccable with our word. Can you imagine? Right? But part of that impeccability is to be able to recognize, that when we do or say something that is impeccable, to go back later and say, you know what, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to say this, or I didn't mean to do this. What can I do to amend it? What can I do to take responsibility for my speech, for my actions? I love being around people who apologize, right? Because I know that if somebody apologizes to me for something, they're being honest. They're being real, right? Because it takes courage. That's a better word than I was going to come up with, because I was going to that slang place. But it takes that extra energy, that heart, that courage to say, you know what, I'm sorry. I screwed this up. Please forgive me. I'm working on myself, right? Okay, and a part of this that I love and hate this statement at the same time, because impeccability is measurable. It's absolutely measurable, and you'll be able to tell right now, in any moment, if you are being impeccable with your word. And you can measure your impeccability based on your self-love, right? Because if you really love yourself, you don't have to work at this, right? Because you are putting out into the universe who you are. You are impeccable with your self-love. Because we know, as within, so without. So if we really love ourselves, then we will be impeccable in everything we do. So this is just an opportunity to use this as a scale to determine how impeccable you are with yourself, to love yourself. And Adam's back in the room. And so to be impeccable, I have to say we talked about Adam behind his back.
That's what I was affirming for.
Adam says, that's what I was affirming for you. But we only did it as an example of something that was fun to do in the moment.
Always happy to serve.
So the transformational part of being impeccable with your word is huge. Don Ruiz admits this is probably the toughest one of these 4 agreements, right? Because it's both reflective and that we see the results of it right away, and it's something that we get to tune into all the time to be aware of how impeccable are we being in any moment. It's because we know that by being impeccable with our word, we lift ourselves up and we also lift up the people around us. So my invitation for you this week, if you can't guess what it is to be impeccable with your word, to be guardians of your words, and let your words be a reflection of your higher self, imbued with love, truth, and integrity. And remember these words of Don Miguel Ruiz. He said, the word is not just a sound or a written symbol. The word is a force. It's the power you have to express and communicate, to think, and thereby to create the events in your life. So may your words be the canvas on which you paint the world of understanding, the world of compassion, the world of love. So let's go forth and create beauty with everything we say, because you have that possibility. By being impeccable, you create a life, a world, and a consciousness of love. And you can change the world. And so it is. My words are seeds that heal, uplift, and encourage myself and others. Say that with me. My words are seeds that heal, uplift, and encourage myself and others. I invite you to close your eyes. Breathing in. Let's join together for a few moments of meditation. And I invite you just to check in and feel what you're feeling. Feel this vibration, this energy of spirit that is present right here, right now. The energy of integrity, the energy of impeccability, the essence that you are to be impeccable with your words, to be impeccable with your life. And breathe into that. And imagine that as you're breathing in and nourishing all of these seeds within you, all these seeds that are soon to be expressed by you. Words, thoughts, actions. And imagine that these seeds are feeling this life, expressing this life, this energy. See it, feel it, believe it, be it. And let's take just a moment to rest in the silence, and I invite you to offer as much love as you can to these seeds that are in the foundation, in the ground of who you are. Let's take a moment to feed our seeds. Breathing in and breathing out. And imagine that these seeds are bursting with a desire to grow, to plant, to empower your spiritual nature. These seeds are bursting with the energy of life and love and truth, ready to move out into your world. Breathing in and breathing out. And I invite you to begin to bring your awareness back to this moment and to join your fellow unitics, these seeds that are ready to be planted in the world. And I invite you to open your eyes when you're ready. All right, well, this time I invite you to prepare your love offerings. And as you bring them forward, to consider your impeccability. Consider how you will be this week. And I hope that you'll decide to look at yourself. One of the amazing things about our teachings is that it's always giving us the opportunity to look within and to decide, is it working? Is it not working? What am I willing to do to bring a little more love to myself and to the planet? So thank you for being here, for sharing your gifts with us. Your gifts are part of the essence and the energy, what allows us to do what we so wonderfully get to do on Sunday morning. And thank you for that. I know that as you give to us, you're participating with us in creating a world that works for everyone. So thank you. So as we hold our gifts, let's pray and affirm our affirmation of prosperity, our unity blessing together. And let's say it together. Together. Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Namaste. Well, I guess I can fill this space with something. And it is to be so grateful for what we have here, for the music program that we have here, for Marianne and John and Ames, who Marianne's husband, I know, will be back before too long to.
He sends his love to everybody.
So Ames will be back in March, and he's sharing his love with all of us. And you know, Ames is such an amazing musician, is he not? I think that he can probably play everything that has strings.
Including me, I'm high-strung.
And Marianne says, including her, and she's high-strung. But she usually plays in harmony, so even despite her high-strungness. And we're thankful for John and for Robin, who is enjoying time on the mainland with her grandchildren and her children, and I know she's having a great time and preparing to come back here and gift us some more. So let me deposit my gift as well. Thank you. All right then. So let's give thanks for these blessings. Thank you, loving Spirit. Thank you, loving energy of life that's moving in and through and as us throughout the universe. We breathe in and recognize that we are part of this amazing life energy that some call God, some call Spirit, some call truth, some call Creator. Just recognize the beauty that we get to be as part of this amazing, loving energy. Thank you, loving Spirit, for all of these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, we give thanks for them, knowing that we are the energy of life that's moving through this ministry. And we let go and recognize that this energy is moving out into the world. And we behold a world that's filled with life, with joy, with peace, and with love. And so it is. Namaste. All right. Thank you. All right, let's see. What else we got going here today? I think I have a few announcements. You always have the opportunity to bring flowers on Sunday morning. And if you do, we'd love for you to, if you'd like to, we'd love you to sign up in the back and pick a date and tell us who you'd like us to recognize on that particular day. It could be a birthday or anniversary or a dear friend or loved one that you'd like us to acknowledge on Sunday morning. Also, we are looking to have a hospitality committee. It's been voiced that people would like to get together to socialize and build community on Sunday morning. And so we're looking to do a potluck probably once a quarter, probably around the holidays. And we're also exploring the idea to have coffee and tea on Sunday morning. So if you're interested in helping to create that, there's a sign-up sheet in the back that says hospitality on it. Our board, recognizing the request from you, has made this decision to offer some hospitality so we can spend some time enjoying each other and enjoying the deliciousness of life. And also, Carrie is going to be doing a sound bowl meditation on February 17th. I think that's next Saturday. And you're welcome to come to that. And she says you can come and sit in a chair, or you can bring a yoga mat and lay on the floor. And she'll provide some amazing energy work with her crystal bowls. So come enjoy that next. It's very relaxing, yes. Thank you. All right, and if you enjoyed my talk today, I've put it together on what I call a walk your talk. It looks like this. It's kind of a summary of everything that I talked about today, and I would hope that you'll make use of this amazing first agreement and take one of these and apply it in your life. And next Sunday, we're going to continue our 5-week series on the 5 agreements, talking about don't take anything personally. That's interesting. That's interesting. So, the truth is that nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own imagined reality, their own dream. So knowing this, you are immune to the actions of others, and you won't be a victim of needless suffering. So next week, we're going to talk about how to take this truth and apply it in our lives so that we don't take anything personally. It's fun to take things personally, though, isn't it? No, not so much. It's probably, if there was anything in my life that's probably been a life work, it's this idea. So I'm really excited about it because, being the sensitive kind of a cancer that I am, I just take everything personally, right? It's all about me. And it's been oftentimes in the past been the story of my life and how I approach the world. So I'm working on that, and we're going to work on this together next week. And so I invite you to come here at 10 o'clock next Sunday morning. And don't take it personally. And I won't take it personally whether you show up or not, but I certainly will keep track. All right, well, where's the peace song at? Or where's the prayer for protection? I must have forgot to put it in. All right, so why don't we stand? We probably all know the prayer for protection. And so let's take a breath. And if you don't know it, just move your lips and nobody will know. And certainly nobody will take it personally. Or if they do, I invite you to come back next week and sit in the front row. So anyway, so for ourselves and for the world, let's pray together the prayer for protection, which begins, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.
Where I live, there are rain.